everyone, the Omni-Slayer here at your service. When you think of video games, what's the first thing you think of? Is it the story, the gameplay, or the characters themselves? While all of these are equally important, let's just focus on the characters. Video game characters are, for the most part, very memorable, whether it's for being very awesome and likable or for being downright hateable. But I'll talk about hateable characters in a future countdown. For now, let's talk about favorite characters. People usually love video game characters for their personality, design, how quick and awesome they are, or just because of the Needle King case, which is when you can explain why you love some characters but you still love them regardless. Trust me, you're gonna see one or two Needle King cases on this list. So without further ado, this is my top 20 favorite video game characters. Like always, one character per franchise and only from games I've played. Sorry, bring me my blaster so I can defend myself against angry fanboys who think they're right about everything. Okay, now that I'm all set, let's get this party started.
Like that thing, for example. 2 heads!
What'd you just say? Pardon me?
Oh, the little one is just a sidekick.
Did that weasel creature just call me a sidekick?
Weasel creature!
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Why don't we start this list with someone a little crazy? Oh my god, these guys are just freaking hilarious. What I like about these guys is the fact that they make some of the weirdest minigames in existence, usually involving the use of their main weapon of choice, the plunger. Their personalities are also pretty entertaining, being very eccentric, have short attention spans, careless, pretty quirky, and are absolutely mentally unstable, as anything can make them release their trademark psychotic scream, which is the main reason why they're so unbelievably hilarious in the first place. And also, boy, there's not much to say about the rabbits. So I'm gonna end this segment with something completely random and unrelated.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Question time. What comes after rabbit?
Luigi!
Get it? Rabbit? Luigi? Rabbit Luigi? Forget it. We'll just get to the point. Why did I pick Luigi as my favorite Mario character instead of, well, Mario? It's simple. Mario has no personality. I mean, yeah, he's the main hero of the series and the one who gets a princess all the time, but other than that, there's not much about Mario there is to be admired. Luigi, on the other hand, has the personality of a bumbling, clumsy, cowardish, yet loyal and determined guy. And that makes him a pretty likable and funny character. Hell, he even saved Mario in his own game, Luigi's Mansion. And do I need to mention that he fights a lot better than Mario in the Smash Bros. Series? All I have to say is, way to get upstaged by your little brother, Mario.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Pardon me, if that was just your way of trying the doors for me.
Up next is the female version of Indiana Jones, Lara Croft. Lara served as the catalyst for many female protagonists in video games. By that I mean that she showed that women aren't just damsels in distress waiting to be rescued by a man. Lara is a very intelligent, beautiful, athletic, strong, and independent British archaeologist who spends her entire time venturing into ancient dangerous tombs around the world, which gave her the title of Tomb Raider. That joke's getting really old. Anyway, as a kid, I'd always looked up to Water as my hero. She was everything I loved about a woman. She has beauty, brains, and a very likable and badass personality that makes her an ideal female role model. So why is she so low on the list? Well, as time went on, Water got progressively blander, and most people only see her as a man's erotic fantasy. That is until the 2013 reboot came along and made her a very relatable and, once again, likable female role model. Overall, Watercraft is one of my childhood heroes, and I'm glad she's still alive to this day. But there are other female characters on this list that made a better impression on me. And to those guys who still see Water as nothing more than a sex object, I think she has something to say about that.
Don't you think you've seen enough?
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Every gaming company has its own mascot or group of mascots, all of them being very likable characters that we enjoyed playing as. With the exception of...
What could possibly go wrong?
yeah. Anyway, there are also some mascots that don't get the attention they deserve, like Quark and the number 17 character on this list, Noah. Noah is one of those characters that you can't help but love. I mean, he's a cute and adorable bunny fox teen who is very gentle, kind, laid back, naive, a bit childish, and works to protect his friends and help others, even if it means risking his life to do so. But he can also be a little absent-minded and not so bright at times, such as when he caught Tat after a long chase and he let her go just because she accused him of being a pervert.
You know, for kids!
Then there's his main weapon of choice, the wind bullet, which can trap enemies and use them as projectiles to destroy sudden obstacles and to reach places he couldn't normally reach on his own, which is probably the most original, unique, and creative weapon IMO. Another thing I like about Noah is his hat. Notice anything familiar on it?
Not exactly.
How about now?
I stand corrected.
So in short, Noah is the little brother that I always wanted to have, which is enough reason to deserve the number 17 spot on this list.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Team Fortress 2 is one of the best FPS games I have recently played. This game has awesome weapons, clever and hilarious dialogue, lots of chaotic action, and of course, some of the best characters in FPS history. These characters are all hilarious and fun in their own way, like the backstabbing gentleman spy, the annoying douche scout, the drunken black Scottish Cyclops Devilman, the insanely hilarious Evie, or the incredibly mysterious and disturbing Pyro. But by far, my favorite character of the bunch is none other than the best hero in the history of video games according to the Quarter Guy, the Medic.
Let's go practice medicine.
How can I describe this awesome character? Well, his personality is kind of a strange case for me, in that he's a sadistic psychopath who cares more about his sick twisted experiments than the safety of his patients, yet he's a very likable character. I mean, he has every personality trait that would easily make him one of my most hated characters in video games, so why do I love him so goddamn much? It's simple.
I have no idea!
That's right, it's a Nidoking case. I can't exactly explain why I love him so much. Maybe it's the fact that he's the most important class in TF2, the fact that he heals his teammates almost instantly and makes them invincible for a short period of time with the Uber charge, or the fact that he's voiced by one of my favorite voice actors, Robin Atkin Downs, who voiced such great characters as Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes,
Some people fuck at funerals. I cut off heads.
and Baron Zemo from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
You may call me master. Now kneel before me.
Okay, I'm getting off topic. So in conclusion, the medic is awesome and fun to play as. And whenever I get severely injured or have a terminal illness, he's the guy I would trust to heal me back to full health. Just as long as he doesn't turn me into one of his lab rats.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
While the rabbits are awesome and insanely funny in their own unique, quirky, and weird way, there's a reason why they're at the very bottom of this list. They stole the spotlight from one of my childhood heroes, dominated his fanbase, and left him in the dust. I am, of course, talking about the wimbless wonder himself, Rayman. Oh god, this guy kicks ass. Rayman is one of the coolest teenage protagonists in existence. What's so cool about him? How about the fact that he can use his own hair as a mini helicopter to glide? Not only that, but he can also throw his fists like powerful boomerangs. That's just freaking awesome.
But wait! There's more!
He can also use his combat fatigues, which give him some really awesome powers like Vortex, which summons tornadoes to overturn platforms and shrink enemies in a hilarious fashion. Heavy Metal Fist, which gives his fists a huge boost in strength. Lockjaw, to grapple onto purple worms and shock enemies to death. Shock Rocket, to launch a powerful remote-controlled rocket. And Throttlecopter, which allows him to fly. That's not awesome, I don't know what is. Another thing I like about him is his personality. He's pretty cocky at times and also very laid back and a bit lazy. But he cares a lot for his friends and will help them whenever they are in trouble. Now that's a really great hero to my eyes. I got nothing else to say except for this. Ubisoft, if you're watching this, do me a favor and let Nintendo put Rayman in the Super Smash Bros. 4, please? I would die a very happy man if you did that.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
The My Sims series has a lot of awesome characters, ranging from cute, to fun, to geeky, to spooky, to studious, to even tasty.
I just realized how strange that sounds.
But which one is my favorite My Sims character? If you saw my top 15 franchises, you know which one I'm talking about. For those who haven't seen it yet, it's Yuki. What can I say? I have a soft spot for the cute, adorable, yet crazy and psychotic teenage girl who loves to bite people's faces. One thing I like about Yuki is her design. She has wild hair, has two fangs that she sharpens every night, purple eyes which work so kawaii, and a pretty purple kimono. So let's just say she's a much cuter and harmless version of that creepy Japanese girl from that extremely scary Japanese movie. She's also very afraid of bright colors, which seems pretty odd since she likes cute things and cuteness is mostly associated with bright colors. And whatever. Another thing I love about Yuki is her voice. Even though she's a teenager, she sounds like a cute little kid. Just listen.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Not seeing it.
Sorry Kev, but this is my opinion, so don't take it the hard way, okay? So in conclusion, Yuki is super adorable and I just can't help but love her so much. Also, is it just me or would she be perfect as a medic's assistant?
Excellent! Well done! Keep it up!
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
When you think of helpers in the Zelda series, you usually think of Navi, Capragebra, and Fi. But there's one big problem that they all share in common. They're annoying! I mean, they bombard you with information that's useless most of the time, and never ever give you a second to be alone with your thoughts. I think it's time to these guys took some lessons on helping one-on-one in Hyrule High School from the best helper in all of Hyrule, Midna. Now this is how you do a helper right. At first Midna acts like a snarky and bitchy character as she forces Link to do her bidding and treats him like crap throughout the first half of the game. But then after Zant exposes her to the white spirit Wanelu, she falls ill and Link, whom Zant also cursed to be stalking his wolf form, takes her to Zelda who supposedly sacrifices her life to heal her, and she becomes a lot more helpful and kind to Link, even revealing that she was next in line to rule the Twilight Realm. That is until Zant usurped her throne and turned her into what you're looking at right now. Yeah, you heard right. This ain't Midna's true form. This is Midna's true form. Jesus, I never thought someone who looks like a demonic little fairy could turn into an hot chick. That was a pretty big surprise for me. Anyway, let's see the reasons why Midna is a better helper than Navi, Kepler, Gebra, and Fi combined. 1. Midna has a very important role in the game, as most of the story of Twilight Princess revolves around revenge against the usurper King Zan for taking over her kingdom, turning her people into monsters, and cursing her into a small imp-like creature, whereas the other helpers had little to no importance to the plot of their own respective games. 2. Midna actually gives you good advice whenever you feel lost or can't remember what to do next, without having the need to force it down your throat like the other helpers do. 3. Midna has a very likable personality, being a very helpful ally and having a sarcastic sense of humor, whereas the other helpers are just bland, uninteresting, and so frustrating they make you want to stab them with a Master Sword. So overall, Midna is the best Zelda character that Nintendo could ever create IMO. And the other helpers in the series can learn a thing or two about actually helping the player instead of shoving useless and obvious information down his or her throat every 2 seconds.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
One of my favorite superhero teams ever is the X-Men. Not only because every single X-Men has their own unique superpowers, but they also symbolize the nature of most teenage outsiders in our society. I bet you're wondering what does this have to do with this list. Well, number 12 on this list shares a lot of similarities with the X-Men, such as backstory, superhuman abilities, and the nature of an outsider. And that character is none other than Cat from Gravity Rush. Where do I begin to describe this beautiful character? Cat is a teenage girl with awesome gravity powers such as shifting gravity to walk on walls or to fly in any direction. Then there's her personality. She's a very down-to-earth, selfless girl who is willing to make personal sacrifices to help others in need. Even though at the beginning people see her as a freakish mutant. She also has amnesia, but unlike those cliché amnesiacs who only brood about what they remember from their past throughout the whole game, she's actually very upbeat and cheerful, often showing happiness when people praise her as a superhero. Hell, she even sometimes worries about getting a boyfriend. Although she shows amazing emotional strength when confronted with great danger. Oh, and she also speaks a made-up language, which is a mix of Japanese, French, and Latin.
La suis m'achevé, et je crois plus affiché de wansi. Pla jujudu, plan chabiment dressa point chafé. De blessema, loetri, chaplain to the safe.
I could tell you about her role in Gravity Rush if it wasn't for one thing. I haven't played Gravity Rush.
What?
So why put Cat on this list if I have never played Gravity Rush? Well, she's in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale as one of the first DLC characters, so it counts. Anyway, She's one of my mains in the game, with her awesome kick combos and her gravity powers to kick an opponent's ass with her spectacular kicks and incredible gravity kicks. Huh. I wonder if it was Chun-Li who taught her how to fight. Overall, Kat is a great superhero and an amazing female teenage role model, and I would have put her very much higher on my list if I had played Gravity Rush. Seriously, she's just so beautiful. And you know what? I would definitely date her if she was a real life person. What? Just being honest here.
Maybe it's time someone taught you some manners.
Remember when I said Lara Croft served as a catalyst for future female protagonists? While she held the door for other female protagonists to shine, she wasn't the one to open it in the first place. That honor would have to go to the famous space bounty hunter herself, Samus Aran. Is there anything about Samus that hasn't already been said?
Nope.
Well, I'm gonna say it anyway, so deal with it, punks. Samus Aran is freaking badass. After witnessing her parents being murdered in cold blood by the space pirate dragon Ridley, Samus was adopted by a bird-like alien race called the Chozo, who infused her with their own DNA to grant her a strong resistance against foreign environments, train her to become faster and stronger than a normal human being, and give her one of their artifacts, the Power Suit, which can be outfitted with a huge arsenal of weapons, armor upgrades, and other features. These include the Power Beam, Morph Ball, Grapple Beam, Hyper Beam, Plasma Beam, Screw Attack, Gravity Suit, Missile Launcher, Zero Laser, and that's just a small sample of what the Power Suit is capable of. And even without the Power Suit, Samus can still kick Space Pirate ass in a Zero Suit, armed with only a stun gun and a whip, making her a very tough and powerful woman. Some of Samus's greatest accomplishments include the extermination of the Metroid species, the annihilation of the X-Parasites, and the destruction of the Space Pirate base in the planet Zebes, saving the universe in all of those occasions. There is no way that can't be awesome. However, excluding Metroid Other M, she doesn't really have a personality to speak of. I mean, the only thing we know about Samus is that she's a kick-ass space bounty hunter who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, as shown in that infamous scene from Other M, which is why she misses the top 10 by a thin string of hair. But she still holds a place in many people's hearts, including my own. Thanks for showing that women can be as awesome and badass as you, Samus.